Chapter 3, Part D of Greener Than You Think. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Greener Than You Think by Ward Moore. Chapter 3, Part D. Mr. LaFassisi removed the tube of the dictaphone from his lips as I entered. Wiener, although a rigid adherence to fact compels me to claim some acquaintance with general knowledge and a slight cognizance of abnormal psychology, I must admit bafflement at the spectacle of your mottled complexion once more in these rooms, sacred to the perpetuation of truth and the dissemination of enlightenment. Every day you embezzle good money from this paper under pretense of giving value received, and each day your uselessness becomes more conspicuous. Almost anyone would disapprove the divine choice in the matter of taking Goots and leaving you alive. And while I know the world suffered not the least hurt by his translation to whatever baroque, noisy, and entirely public hell is reserved for reporters, at least he attempted to forge some ostensible return for his paycheck. "Mr. LaFassisi," I began indignantly, but he cut me off. "You unalloyed imbecile!" he roared. "At least have the prudence, if not the intelligence or courtesy, to be silent while your betters are speaking. Goots was a bloody knave, a lazy, slipshod, slack, tasteless, absurd, fawning, thieving, conniving sloven, but even if he had the energy to make an attempt and a mind to put to it, he could not in 10 lifetimes become the perfect, immaculate, and prototypical idiot you were born." I don't know how long he would have continued in this insulting vein, but he was interrupted by the concealed telephone. "What in the name of the 10,000 dubious virgins do you mean by annoying me?" he bellowed into the mouthpiece. Yes, I know all about deadlines. I was a newspaperman when you were vainly suckling canine dugs. Are you ambitious to replace me? Go get with child a mandrake root, you journalist. I will meet the Intelligencer's deadline as I did before your father got the first tepidly lustful idea in his nulliparous head, and as I shall after you have followed your useless testes to a worthy desuetude." He replaced the receiver and picked up the mouthpiece of the dictaphone again, paying no further attention to me. He enunciated clearly and precisely, speaking in an even monotone, pausing not at all as if reading from some prepared script, though his eyes were fixed upon a vacant spot where the wall and ceiling joined. "In the death today of Jackson Goots, the Daily Intelligencer lost a son. It is an old and good custom on these solemn occasions to pause and remember the dead. Jackson Goots was a reporter of exceptional probity, of clear understanding, of indefatigable effort, and of great native ability. His serious and straightforward approach to an occupation which to him was a labor of love was balanced by a sunny yet thoughtful humor, a combination making his company something to be sought. Beloved of his fellow workers, no one mourns his loss more sincerely than the editor through whose hands passed all those brilliant contributions, now finally marked as all newspaper copy is -30-. But though the Intelligencer has suffered a personal and deeply felt bereavement, American journalism has given another warrior on the battlefield. Not by compulsion nor arbitrary selection, but of his own free will. He who serves the public through the press is a soldier, and as a soldier he is ready at the proper time to go forward and give up his life if need be. No member of a sturdy army was more worthy of a gallant end than Jackson Goots. He died not in some burst of audacity such as may occasionally actuate men to astonishing feats, but doggedly and calmly in the line of duty. More than a mere hero, he was a good newspaper man. W.R.L. There were tears under my eyelids as the editor concluded his eulogy. Under that gruff and even overbearing exterior must beat a warm and tender heart. You can't go by appearances, I always say, and I felt I would never again be hurt by whatever hasty words he chose to hurl at me. "Wake up, you moonstruck simpleton, and stop beaming at some private vision. The time has passed for you to live on the bounty of the intelligencer like the bloody mendicant you are. You have outlived your usefulness as the man who started all this fuss. It is no longer good publicity. The matter has become too serious. No, Weiner. From now on, beneath your unearned byline, the public will know you only as the first to set foot upon this terra incognita, this verdant isle which flourishes senselessly, where only yesterday Hollywood nourished senselessly. So, rest no more upon your accidental laurels, but transform yourself into what nature never intended, a useful member of the community. I will make a newspaper man of you, Weiner, if I have to beat into your head an entire type front, from 4-point up to and including those rare bold-faced letters we keep in the cellar to announce on our final page one, the end of the world. You will cover the grass as before, and you will bring or send or cause in some other manner to be transmitted to me copy, without a single adjective or adverb, containing nothing more lethal than verbs, nouns, prepositions, and conjunctions, stating facts, and only facts, clearly and distinctly in the least possible number of words compatible with the usages of English grammar. You will do this daily and conscientiously, Weiner, on pain of instant dismemberment, to say nothing of crucifixion and the death of 1,000 cuts. The Weekly Ruminant and the Honeycomb have found little pieces of mine, written without special instructions suitable for their columns, I mentioned defensively. He threw himself back in his chair and stared at me with such concentrated fury I thought he would burst the diamond stud loose from his shirt-band. The Weekly Ruminant, he informed me, was founded by a parsimonious whore-master whose sanctimonious rantings in public were equalled only by his private impieties. It was brought to greatness, if inflated circulation be a synonym, by a veritable journalistic pimp who pandered to the public taste for literary virgins by bribing them to commit their perverse acts in full view. It is now carried on by a spectral corporation, losing circulation at the same rate a hemophiliac loses blood. As for the Honeycomb, it is enough to say that careful research proves its most absorbing reading to be the throw away your truss ads. Is it not natural, Weiner, that two such journals of taste and enlightenment should appreciate your efforts? Unfortunately, the Daily Intelligencer demands accounts written in intelligible English above the level of fourth-grade grammar school. I would have been shocked beyond measure at his libelous smirching of honored names, and hurt as well by his slighting reference to myself, had I not known from the revealing editorial he had dictated what a sympathetic and kindly nature was really his, and how he might, beneath this cynical pose, have an admiration great as mine for the characters he had just slandered. You will be the new Peter Schlemiel, Weiner. From now on you will go forth without a ghost, and any revision essential to your puny assault upon the Republic of Letters will be done by me, and God help you if I find much to do, for my life is passing and I must have time to read the immortal Hobbes before I die. In spite of all he'd said, I couldn't help but believe Mr. LaFascisi realized my true worth. Or why did he confer on me what was practically a promotion? I was therefore emboldened to suggest the cancellation of the unjust pay cut. But this innocent remark called forth such a vituperative stream of epithet, I really thought